Frit, and then after that, we're going to have a Resident Evil 7 run on Madhouse difficulty by Captain Ezekiel. But first, we're going to have Frit. Frit, you want to take it away from me?
Yeah, hello everybody. Today I'm doing Claire B Hardcore. I'm super excited for this run. It's a lot of fun. This game is a very beginner-friendly speedrun, and I think it's pretty exciting to watch. A lot of action today. I am here joined with Mondo, who is a former world record holder for several Resident Evil 2 remake categories. Mondo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mondo Mantra. I'm very old, and I used to be good at this game.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it. The time will begin after the second cutscene skip here. So, count us down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, so a little bit about this category. So we're playing on hardcore difficulty. Enemies will put us into danger in one hit most of the time. So super dangerous compared to standard, which is relatively tame. There you just saw me do something called stair skating, where if you tap aim while going up or down stairs, it will cancel the animation that usually plays, and Claire and Leon will go a bit faster. So I'm playing as Claire. Claire has a unique mechanic that Leon doesn't have, which is that she runs 8% faster in caution. So for most of the run, I'm going to be absolutely terrified and in range of getting one-shotted always. So we're heading through the courtyard here. Gonna grab a few items. We get Claire's gun, the quick draw army, which is super strong and part of what makes this category so much fun to run. In the courtyard, we have a lot of zombies that I'm just gonna throw a grenade at because I am not interested in getting past all of them. We can pick up a replacement nade later. You may notice I'm using a skin mod. This skin mod was made by the user Arison C. It's a premium skin mod. This version, however, though, is customized specifically for me by my lovely girlfriend, Catastrophic. She is the Resident Evil 3 remake world record holder for 4 out of the 5 categories.
It's a pretty sweet skin, I gotta say.
Yeah. She customized the arm, the belt, the mask.
It looks good.
Put all the blue in there and changed the texture. Yeah, so we made it through courtyard just fine, thanks to that nade. Making it through courtyard is really rough without that. You spend a lot of the time resetting just that one room, that one area. But luckily it's at the beginning of the game, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's really rough.
Well, like the other categories I've seen you do that like gas station start. This seems like maybe you kind of get into the run a little faster than the other categories.
Yeah, that's one of the big benefits of the B scenario is there's really no there's no early game downtime. You just kind of jump into things like we're already at the RPD. Yeah. So here we're gonna pick up an herb and we're gonna pick up bullets. The reason we're picking up this herb is because there's a liquor in this hallway and we're just gonna run straight into it. Because we got unlucky here, hopefully. Oh. Okay, so we're in caution now. So Claire's running 8%. Oh. Hold on. Oh, okay. That was scary.
That was scary.
The front of the skin looks really cool too. That just seeing it right there.
Yeah, the mask looks really sweet. That liquor was not supposed to chase me because I messed up a little bit there. I got chased, but we handled it well. Here we're gonna do a safety strat that I believe Mondo came up with. If you just wait at the top of these stairs here, this lady, who will be in the way later, will just fall off the banister there. We're just moving through the RPD. We have the detonator. We're going to get the battery now. We're trying to collect the 3 medallions. Once we get the 3 medallions and put them into the center of the main hall, we can go to the second section of the run, which classic menu is not working. The second section of the run is called RPD2. We're in RPD1 right now.
Makes sense. So
We have XG.
no, I was gonna ask, like, how you said you were like in caution the whole time and you're one hit away from death. Is there anything that would like kill you in one hit anyways?
There is nothing that can one-shot us aside from a boss fight later on. Well, there are some enemies that are one-shot, but they're not too worrisome.
So the danger is definitely from just being in caution.
Yeah, the danger is from being in caution. If we get grabbed on stairs, the run is just over. You just die there.
Yeah. The reason why you would die on the stairs is because those of you maybe like seen played the game before, you can't really tell from gameplay, but when you do the falling animation, when the zombie falls on top of you, that does like 100-ish damage. And then you take damage from the grab, and that is why you can sometimes get one shot.
Yeah. Oh, super unlucky here. I might have been able to get away with that, but it's really unlucky to have that zombie aggroed there. It's kind of bad for later, but we should be able to get away with it if we're lucky. So yeah, this library section is random because that female zombie there is, her position is just completely random. So we're heading down there. We have 2 medallions right now. We're going to pick up our 3rd here. These puzzles, the medallion puzzles, are random. The starting position is random, but the solution is always the same. So it adds a pretty huge level of randomness to the game. You'll notice I'm pausing when I shoot these zombies. The reason for that is because on hardcore, the zombies will stagger in a totally random number of bullets. On this specific category, they can stagger in 1 bullet or 2 bullets. So when I pause after I shoot, I'm just checking to see if they staggered and if I can run by.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to mention that if you watch standard, you might be wondering why not to hit the head. And I don't think is it possible to get staggered in hardcore on the head for it? I'm trying to remember. I don't think it is.
It is, but it's actually like, it's even more random than the leg shots. Like it can take up to like 4 shots. It's really bad.
Yeah. It's just so uncommon to go for the headshots that I've completely forgot. It takes like 1 billion.
So we're going into our first boss fight here. I turned the image quality down. The reason for that is we want stable frames for this fight because the knife does way more damage the higher your frame rate is. So yeah, that's the first boss fight then. Just some knife slashes and 6 shots to his eye. That fight is actually a little random because the gun we're using can obviously, one very common mechanic in Resident Evil games is that guns can do critical hits. So their normal shot will do like 2 or 3% to G1 there, but if you get a crit, it can do like 7%, I believe, which cuts down the fight time significantly.
What's the speed difference between like the 60 FPS versus 120 in that knife fight?
Yeah. I should have mentioned that earlier. This is Claire B Hardcore 120 FPS. The most run categories are the 120 FPS categories, but the 60 FPS categories are still very highly ran on this game. The differences between them are 60 FPS kind of has a finicky menu. When you go into the inventory, it's far less responsive than 120 FPS. And the biggest difference, the huge difference between the two is that the knife on 120 FPS is the strongest weapon, not even close. On 60 FPS, it's quite a bit weaker. It's still used, but it won't be killing the bosses, like melting them like butter.
So it's like very noticeable, like difference in speed in the boss fights.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah, the strats are like night and day.
Yeah, because like that, I mean, I'm sure there's like, stuff that you're doing specifically there, but it looks like you're just spamming completely like on the boss with the knife, and it ends so quickly.
Yeah. Speaking of things that look easy that aren't, is this room. Okay, luckily we didn't get hit there. One more thing. Okay, good, nice. That room is super tricky. The first time through there, there's 2 liquors that we run by. The movement through there without getting hit is extremely precise. And then that hallway there at the end, we just have to turn around. That way the liquor will miss us.
Made it look easy.
Yeah, a lot of hours.
Yeah, but like you said, like a lot of things, like in a speedrun, when done well, like it's so much more difficult than it looks.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think this game it really exemplifies that. It's simple at face value. The game, there's not a ton going on mechanically, but it's the precision. That's where the difficulty comes from, is doing everything consistently as well as possible. So because of the routing I'm using, I'm doing a slightly different route than what you would do on the world record. Our inventory is actually full here. So one of the big differences between standard and hardcore on this game is that we don't get any hit pouches. So our inventory space is always the same throughout the run. So we're going to be using the bank, and we're going to be just discarding items properly. We'll mess up there. I bet Cat's laughing at me right now. We're gonna discard something here because we have to pick up this large gear, which is 2 slots. If we didn't get rid of the knife there, then my inventory would have been full.
I like the menuing in this game. Menuing is always like an underappreciated aspect of speedrunning, I think.
Absolutely. It's super vital to this game as well.
I can see it.
All right, so we have a bit more RNG here. This lady that's at the stairs could stumble towards me, and of course she does. But just one shot will nullify her there. We're headed into a super hectic part of the run, so I am going to quiet down a little bit and focus up. I'm gonna let Mondo take over for this. We're gonna meet Mr. X here.
Hello.
And we're just gonna run by.
Yeah, that dodge is it looks easy. That one is not easy. There's kind of precise positioning you need to do. So because it's really easy. Like if you noticed, he didn't walk right up next to him, because if you do that, the moment he hits a certain animation, he will immediately throw you to the ground. So the positioning on that dodge is pretty precise. There's also a safer one you can do from farther away where you aim. But yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
So some very precise movement there to avoid that liquor.
Yeah.
And discard this key. Set up our inventory. All right, well, we got X and a zombie there, so I'm just gonna go the other way.
This is rough.
Marvin can sometimes be right outside that door, so I'm just pausing to check and see if he's there. What we have here is really scary. Okay. So usually earlier on in the game, we get to push these shelves once, but here I did not get to. So we might be in a really bad spot here.
Okay.
I just did another shot manipulation there. You saw I shot the wall there. The reason I did that is because it will actually manipulate the zombies into completely ignoring me in this room. That one was found very recently by, once again, my lovely girlfriend, Catastrophic.
I feel like
which has made this run.
No, I was just sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I feel like I've seen you do several shots so far to probably influence enemies.
Yeah. There was quite a few there. One, before I picked up the library jack, I shot just the floor. I do that to lure Mr. X to the spot that I want him to be in. he kind of wasn't in the spot I wanted him to be in there, but it ended up working out okay. I did another one outside the library, which manipulates a different zombie to ignore me. There, we made it through the library quite luckily, and with catastrophic shot manip there, the zombies just completely ignored us.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
I thought in the past, because I think it's been kind of like this is like a very minor like time save routing thing, but like so, have you timed out if it's faster to push all three shelf pushes in one go, or to like do one after the ladder? I'm guessing you did it that way because it's slightly faster.
Yeah. Pushing the shelf 3 at once is like about a second faster than not, but it's super unsafe. I think with that new shot manipulation though, it could be viable for not only hardcore but standard as well. There we just picked up a flash. The flash isn't going to be used until later in sewers. We've been collecting these electronic part boxes. That was the goal of RPD2, is to collect those 2 boxes. Once we reach this room here, we're going to start the sherry section. The sherry section is quite long and not a lot happening. So if you need to use the bathroom or get a drink, get a snack, it would be a good time for that. I also want to show off something really neat here that was discovered between Kat and I. Kat found it accidentally. There's a puzzle coming up, and you can actually see the solution in this cutscene.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna wait. Yeah, we're gonna wait for it to switch over to Sherry here.
Stupid kid.
And then we can see the block puzzle in the background, and you can actually see the solution before you get to it. Right, so here it is. The blocks won't change.
Interesting.
Positions.
Is that a random puzzle, or is it like consistent?
It is. Yeah, it is random.
Oh, but you can just see it anyways. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. So we're just gonna get into it. Sherry's moving.
And this game is timed by IGT, right? So you could. Is that true? So like you could watch the cutscene and it not affect your time, see the puzzle solution, and then just know it already.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Because it's because it's timed by IGT, you wouldn't lose anything.
There's been some interesting like watch the cutscene strats in Resident Evil games. I remember there was one in Resident Evil 4 remake. I don't know if they still use it, but like there was one where you like watched the Krauser cutscene, and then you could do like a skip on his like first phase just by watching it.
Oh yeah, that is still used.
Is it still used? Okay, yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
but you have to like sit there and like watch for like a minute or something just to like get this like small time save.
Yeah.
So yeah, funny strats that happen from IGT.
Yeah.
Also, I'm wondering, Frit, you can actually also see, can you see the puzzle after the movement for the block too? Like you could also technically pause and look at the solution then too, right?
Oh yeah, you could actually go out of the puzzle there and then go back into it after pausing. That might save you a little time.
But I mean before you get to the blocks.
Oh
you see
yeah.
it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, got it. Because like, the reason why I wanted to elaborate, because like, some people who have like pause buffered like medallions, for example, in the past, it's kind of really hard to get a good angle to see them. But sometimes people go into the puzzle, like, and then like pause, and then like sometimes even people have like looked at like the replays really quick. So.
Yeah.
I just wanted to elaborate that if you could see it before actually getting into it, because doing that is slightly slower.
Yeah. So Chief Irons is chasing us. We are Sherry. This is one of the. Well, it's the most boring section of the run. It's pretty much just sitting around waiting.
Yeah. Not a lot to optimize here, I guess.
Exactly. we're just kind of waiting for him to walk around.
Is this a good spot to get in like a couple announcements, Frit?
Absolutely.
Okay,
This is a good
great.
spot.
So, everyone, Summer Games Done Quick 2025 will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th to the 13th. You can register to attend the event by May 26th. You can use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more info. Also, you can join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord in the Twitch chat for more info. And back to you, Frit. And Sherry as well.
Sure. Noticed this the other day. These blocks say GG. I thought that was.
Oh, really?
Um,
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
So we're just gonna sit in this corner here. Once Irons points his flashlight over here, we can run over to this spot, stand right here. This is actually a safe spot where you can't get kidnapped here. And Irons will be running past us in just a moment to get into the bathroom. Then we're gonna steal his key, and we're gonna be finishing up this Sherry section.
Also, I just wanted to mention, so you crouched in that corner there for because of hardcore, the difficulty adjustment, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. To elaborate on that, the spot I was standing in there at the end, you can on standard you can actually just stand there, like you don't have to hide in that corner. The way Iron's vision works is actually different on hardcore and standard. You have to be a little bit more worried on hardcore, but not to a crazy degree. He's just a little bit smarter.
Also, I realized also we didn't mention how there's difficulty adjustment in this game.
Yeah.
It is one of the main mechanics of the game. It's actually not relevant on hardcore because there's only one difficulty rank. So you're essentially at the max rank the whole run. So you don't have to worry about certain difficulty adjustment and maxing, which is like a big part of like the mid and late game of like the standard categories, but in this it's not really relevant.
Does that make the run more consistent? Or
It does. It kind of balances out though, because hardcore is so much more random with
sure.
the leg shots staggering randomly.
Yeah, so there are extra inconsistencies, but that brings back a little more consistency, I guess.
Yeah,
I understand.
I would say that's accurate.
Yeah, and like in standard, for example, trying to keep your rank lower is also a way of making like headshot staggers more consistent. Because once you get onto like what's rank 7 standard, you really want to be on rank 6 because otherwise it's RNG if you get the headshot or not, which is a big deal. That can kill your run.
Yeah.
So.
That is
But
interesting.
in this, it's like it's always pretty much the same.
All right, so we're running away from X. We just got outside the RPD. Everybody wants to take shoe shots today. They don't want me to have bullets. This section is pretty rough in the run. We have to shoot, well, once we reach sewers, we'll have to shoot 4 zombies in total, and they can all tank a random number. Well, they can all tank between 1 and 2 shots. So we're really hoping to save some ammo here and not have to deal with that. We also have what is probably the most, the biggest like random reset point in the entire game, really, is it's known as Bus Dog. Coming up, we're gonna run into a bus and stagger a zombie, and then outside of that bus is gonna be a dog that is totally random and can just instantly kill your run if you're unlucky.
Okay.
So here we go. We're coming up on it. We're gonna pick up a grenade, stagger this guy, and hope that we don't get bit. And we did not.
Thank you, Bus Dog.
Oh, we might get bit.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes he can bite you when you're running
Man.
away.
That would have been amazing, actually.
Yeah. really glad to save the heal there. We have an emergency safety herb just in case I got bit there. Luckily, I did not. It looks a little anticlimactic, but it has devastated many people, including my friend and the runner for RE7 later on today, Captain Ezekiel. He has a hilarious clip of him getting a very unfortunate bus dog encounter. Highly recommend.
Dogs in video games, they can be really, really brutal.
Sherry, I'll be
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, so we're meeting up with Sherry again, but she's gonna be gone again, so it's kind of just come and go with her.
Don't stop.
All right. So we've reached the sewers. The sewers is, in the A scenario, a relatively chill part of the run. It's definitely annoying, but
Sherry.
not nearly as rough as the B scenario. There's an extra zombie placed in our way. Well, 2 extra zombies placed in our way that we'll encounter later on. Yeah, I'm gonna just take a moment and chill here before we have our last, or well,
Yeah,
our 3rd zombie encounter.
breathe, some downtime.
Go up this big flight of stairs.
I do really like the movement in this game.
Yeah,
At least watching it.
It has-
I don't know about actually doing it.
yeah, it everybody wants to take 2 bullets today. Yeah, that's a little scary, that zombie lunging towards us, but we're fast enough there to make it by.
Be right there.
Here, I'm just gonna be safe. I am going to take these ink ribbons and I'm gonna make a save because this part of the run is rough and very unforgiving. So we're just gonna go ahead and make that save. Then we're gonna bank a few things. Yeah. So we banked the nade, a knife, the 2 keys that we don't need anymore, and those ink ribbons. We have one more zombie coming up here.
I also think it's worth mentioning that I'm pretty sure hardcore is the only, that's like the only set of categories where banking is optimal.
Yeah.
Because of so for those that don't know, not only are there no autosaves in hardcore, there's also like, like the saving with the ink ribbons. There's also, it's very short on the hip pouches, which make your inventory bigger. So you're very, very limited on inventory. There is one in like the RPD we could have grabbed, but it's about 30 seconds, I think, slower. And also you have to deal with hardcore enemies, so it's very far from worth it.
So we're having our first encounter here with the G-adult enemies. They are super, super obnoxious. They have just very broken hitboxes. But we won't really have to deal with them for another couple minutes. The goal of the sewers is to find these 3 chess pieces that are in here to solve a puzzle. And once we solve that puzzle, we get to fight the 2nd boss of the run. We'll be there in a little bit. This section is pretty dense. It takes a little bit. We shoot this one here to make him go in the water and not disturb us. I'm gonna do another shot manipulation here to make this guy ignore me, hopefully. Okay, well, he didn't want to ignore us, but he didn't grab us, so that's good. That might be super problematic later on. Towards the end, those 2 zombies there can be in our way on the way back and just be in totally impossible positions. So we might be getting grabbed there later on, but we'll see. See if we can pull something out.
That's like one of the few places in the game where, depending on where the zombies were before you left, they'll be in like kind of like, how do I explain it? Kind of like the same positions, or like because a lot of rooms, I think when you come back into them, sometimes it just puts them into preset locations. So there it can be kind of dynamic, like the guy being on the stairs, for example, is kind of bad RNG because you have to go up those stairs later. So things like that.
Okay, so there was a pretty scary moment. The wall that I shot there actually extends out way further than it shows, so I missed the enemy I was supposed to shoot and shot the wall instead. Pretty bad given our current bullet count, but we should be able to manage, hopefully. Here we're actually going to pick up a new weapon. This is a weapon that we only use in the hardcore categories. The optimal routing doesn't use the spark shot anymore, but here we need it for G2 and G3. So we just put the chest puzzle piece in and grab that. I throw a flash here to just get these enemies out of our hair. They are super annoying. And just one flash gives us enough time to actually go through this whole room.
I notice you only have 2 bullets left, so they've been really dwindling your supply.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. We have a zombie here that might be in the water or might be on the ledge. He was I actually didn't have to shoot him there, but it's really hard to recognize that. We have a G-Adult in our way, which kind of sucks. But the spark shot is really strong, or really strong for the G-Adults, I should say. We can just shoot that one and run by. We have another one coming up here. All right, we are through. I'm really not sure what to do coming up, because we're gonna have some really bad positions. It might be better to just get grabbed and go. Just take the time loss. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see what
ideally
we can
not
do.
on the stairs.
Yeah, ideally not on the stairs. Okay. No, we're just gonna. Oh, can't pick that up.
Oh god.
I really needed that nade, but we're just gonna move on.
Okay. That's
Are you gonna grab the one on the labs after the solution puzzle?
Either that one or the one in the room with the spark shot bullets. I'm not sure which one.
the problem for
That was just really
problem for future Frit.
Exactly, it's a problem for me to solve later. We're gonna grab the other nade we have, because if we didn't have another nade, we would be in for a really bad time. Gonna make my other safety save, which will make me feel way more comfy. So now we gotta solve the chest puzzle room. It's the same thing every time. Just put the pieces in where they're supposed to go. Lots to memorize in this game, unfortunately. There are so many puzzles, and most of them are random. But luckily, this one this one's nice in comparison.
On my way.
I'm not a fan of random
Also,
puzzles.
Yeah. I wanted to briefly mention that ammo is very hard to come by, especially in hardcore, because they tweaked the values so that I think the pack number goes down
Yeah.
like a certain amount percentage. So also I guess we'll talk about G2 instead.
Yeah. So just prefacing this is the hardest boss in the Ren. I'm gonna do my best to make it through this, but we'll see how it goes. We have a safety save just in case.
Should have known you wouldn't die.
I'm gonna quiet down here and try and focus up, because this is really nerve-wracking. Okay, so he's dropping fast. Got a bad well, not necessarily a bad pattern, but not the one I was hoping for. Okay, perfect. All right. So we were actually quite fortunate there. I got the attack that I really wanted, the attack that's not so random. Our goal here is to get G2 to 61.3% health before we shoot the spark shot at him, and that will do just enough damage. Just enough damage to get him below his threshold.
Nice.
He has a 50% health threshold there. Usually you have to hit him twice with the crane. Did I forget something? No, I did not. Okay. Usually we have to hit him twice with the crane, but if you get him below 50% health, you can just hit him once, and that saves about 30 seconds.
Nice.
I was super duper nervous for that fight, but we got very, very fortunate. And it actually went really smooth.
Yeah, I would say G2 on Claire Hardcore, any of them, is probably like probably the worst boss in the entire game. Just because you have a 50% chance for a horrible RNG, which luckily he didn't get, so.
Yeah. All right, so that completely concludes the sewers section. We're heading to Nest or Labs now. I'm a grenade down, so I'm gonna have to find somewhere to pick one up. I do have a plan, but we'll see how that goes.
Cable car.
Did you grab the one before the upgrade for the wristband?
Okay.
Um,
Better check everything.
we wouldn't usually grab that one, but I think that's the one I'm gonna grab.
That might be the fastest one optimally, but I don't know if the zombie will be in your way though.
Yeah, that is what I'm concerned about right now.
Yeah.
That there's one zombie in the cafeteria that if I decide to grab the grenade,
I'm getting you treatment.
they will probably show up in my way, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We've done pretty good so far.
It'll be fine.
no deaths just
It'll
yet?
be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We got Sherry kind of clipping through our body here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but we're gonna hope for the best here.
I actually noticed that G2, the rifle, because she holds it a certain way, half the rifle is invisible for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to discard something here. Let's see what we do here. Oh. Usually we wouldn't grab this grenade over here, but kind of have to. I'm gonna grab this herb as well, so I just got rid of all of my safety. Picked up some spark shot rounds there to hopefully make labs a bit more pleasant. We're gonna need to bank that grenade because we actually don't have enough space to have a grenade in our inventory. So we have a zombie.
Oh, sorry, what?
That zombie is very random and he's in the worst spot he can be in. Oh, we're just gonna pause. Oh, there he is. Knew he would be camping the door there. Very scary, but we have the safety to get by him.
And like this whole time, right? You've just been in caution, right? Like, yeah. I just want to
Just in
emphasize that, like, y'all, he's like one hit from death this whole time, I assume.
Yeah, and on top of that, there is very little heals in this category. So if we get put into danger, we basically can't do anything. A lot of the rooms just don't work in danger. A lot of the optimal strats that I would usually do. And we're about like 20% slower than this in danger.
I was about to say, like, I assume like danger is like a different speed that is just worse.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Also, I think, I'm not sure if this is related to like sounds that the character makes, because I think the characters are a bit noisier on lower HP, but it's either related to the state of HP or the noises, because aggro is also different on health states regardless of speed. So like, for example, with Leon, caution is pretty much the same, except on stairs you get a slower animation, even though you animation cancel it with the pistol. But like, if you're on danger with Claire, it's completely different than, caution with Claire, even just like aggro wise.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just there we had a keypad puzzle. Those change depending on the scenario you're in, so I put in the B codes. That opens a hatch in this room and allows us to do another puzzle coming up. We are encountering the IVs. The IVs are totally one-shot unless you have a defensive item. So we have flashes that we can burn on them, but if we run out of flashes, then a grab will just be dead, regardless of difficulty, regardless of your health. Also, sorry, Cat, I didn't do the quick turn. Or I did the quick turn.
I'm just curious, have you actually not gotten hit yet? Besides the caution manip earlier in the run, have you gotten hit yet?
Yeah, so far we are no damage aside from the attack we take on purpose.
That's actually pretty crazy for a marathon run.
Is there like
Hopefully we can manage.
a chance, like if you had a heal and you saw yourself in a dangerous spot, you could like heal for safety, then take another hit to get back into caution? Or what?
Unfortunately, most of the attacks will just put you directly into danger from
I see.
fine.
So
you can be at max health and just instantly
Yeah,
quit.
I see.
That's why hits are so devastating on this.
Also, what's nice about clear like the HP system in this game though is like if you were to use a fast at danger, you would go back to fine, but herbs only heal about 400. So if you're in danger, an herb heals enough to be always in caution, so you don't have to worry about getting caution again. But if you grab a fast, you will have to figure out a way to get caution back.
I packed my parka.
Okay, so we're headed back into one of the scariest rooms in the game, one of the rooms that I'm sure if you've ran this game, you know very well as a run killer. Hopefully we should be able to manage. There's 2 lickers and 3 zombies in this room, and hopefully with a shot manip. Oh, that's really unlucky. Okay, so okay. Okay, I had to super improvise there. That was really scary. You are not supposed to get attacked there by that liquor. That was really unlucky. But luckily we managed with a lot of pretty good finesse, if I do say so myself.
So that, like Mondo was saying, like that herb put you back into caution, right?
Yeah, put us right back into caution. Unfortunately, we're in a situation now where I don't have any safety. I had an extra flash there, which came in very handy, but we kind of needed another one. But hopefully we can get through this area without, getting grabbed. Otherwise, I will have to abandon the category rules and pick up the infinite knife, which I don't really want to do. I would like to have a regular run, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Just a bit more to go. Oh my god, that's scary. Oh. Very nice game.
Yeah, that was
Okay. Okay. We're free. Goodness.
Yeah, that's like the last spot where like dying in the run is kind of possible. I think it's very hard to actually die unless something goes horribly wrong at one of the bosses.
Yeah, like Mondo said, we have 3. We have 3 bosses left over, and pretty much no other enemy encounters in the run. So we're coming up on G3 now, and hopefully I can execute that well. I have all the stuff I need. If I got grabbed there by one of those IVs, the run would technically be dead because I would have to pick up the infinite knife from the box, which would make this a new game plus run. And we want to do this legit. No new game plus.
We'll
items.
just change the category on the description on the fly.
There you go. There you go.
No one will notice.
Yeah. All right. So I actually have just enough ammo. I have 3 spark shot shots, which is just enough for G3, and I have some extra ammo in my pistol here, which really isn't too useful, but yeah. This boss fight will take 3 spark shot shots and 3 pretty much full HP knives. The knives do have HP in this game. They can break after a certain amount of slashes, so we have to conserve them very well.
Gotta get back to shit.
So here goes. We're running to fight G3.
You said there's 3 bosses left?
Yeah, 3 bosses.
Yeah, I haven't played this game in forever, so I don't even like remember.
All right, so we did our 3 spark shot shots on his eyes to put him out of commission for a little bit, and then we're just gonna basically do some very precise knifing with our knives. We don't have a lot of excess HP, so we have to be very, very precise with our slashes. Try and get as many eye hits as we can. Oh, he is not dead. I thought he would die there, but there we go. We got past G3. That's a bit stressful, but not too bad compared to G2 from before. I'm very happy with my performance so far. That was pretty sweet.
I have a bit of a nerd moment right now.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, was it intentional not doing the animation cancels for the spark shot?
No, actually, that was that's just how I find it comfy.
Okay, because like I think when like you let go of right click after shooting the needle, it'll save like what, like a second or something.
Yeah, it does cancel the shot faster. I'm actually not sure. I haven't seen that applied on G3 ever. That might be a good time save to look into.
Yeah, I think maybe that was lost information because like back when Clay Ray Standard was
Sherry,
like used it, or I guess Clay B Standard too.
I want to rush you.
Used to have spark shot. That was a time save, and it also makes the fight significantly easier. Where you just let go right after the needle explodes, and you'll save a little bit of time. So I was wondering if that was intentional or not. So maybe you have a new time save.
That is really good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a long elevator here. Moment to chill, moment to relax before the final 2 boss fights. We have G4 and G5. G4 is a super interesting fight. He doesn't actually have health. You have to pop 85 eyeballs on his chest. And we're going to do that with 1 knife and 2 nades. And our minigun that we're going to get soon.
For helping me. I'm really glad I met you.
Yeah, he only dies if the eyes pop, but also he does technically have an HP bar, so does Tyrant. The HP bars are so astronomically large that it's impossible to make it 0. So
Yeah. What do they have? Something like 3 trillion health or something?
3 trillion.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something ridiculous.
The other boss fights we've been doing have around 30,000, 24,000, something like that.
I believe you can do
like
it.
2
You can do
billion.
it, Frit.
All right, we're holding the door open here for Sherry, as she has to push the door open, and that's slow, so we're gonna hold that open for her. We have some IVs in this area, but they're totally harmless to us. We can just run by. And Sherry's just able to get by no problem because she's immortal, I guess.
It's one of the nice changes from the compared to the remake and the original. In the original, Sherry will get scared and crouch.
Yeah.
And if you do not do movement around that in the speedrun, you will lose a ton of time. So luckily in this game, it's kind of like an afterthought. You don't really have to worry about Sherry ever, which is nice.
That is not ideal. We really wanted to save that knife for this IV, but we will be okay. We're just gonna have to be a little careful.
Son of a bitch.
There we go. That should give us enough time to get this door open, because Sherry has to open it for us. There we go. Do a little cool movement tech there to breeze by her. Usually you have to wait for her to get out of the way, but some cool quick turns you can squeeze right by. Oh yeah, we have that last zombie there. That zombie actually has 1 HP, I believe. So any amount of damage will kill that zombie. So we just shoot him once there. And we're coming up on G4. I will once again be going quiet for this fight because I have to focus pretty good for this one. There's a super cool quick kill you can get on G4, but it's incredibly strict. I'll see if I can get it, but no promises. Here we go. Picking up the minigun and going to fight G4 now.
8 minutes until.
All right. Nice. So that was really good. We only needed to pop one eye after all that, which means I almost got the super quick kill, but not quite. Just missed one eye there. And now we just gotta minigun him to death. There we go. G4 is down. And now we have the final fight here. So we're fighting G5 now. G5 is really scary. He does have a one-shot. If he hits me, it's a one-shot and the run dies. So we're gonna try and not do that. And we have to get insanely close to him to do damage. So try and stay as far away from him as we can. All right. So we gotta get him down to 20% health left. Which I'm just gonna do with the minigun because I am way too scared to get in there right now. And then here we gotta do 4 slashes once he approaches us one more time, and he should die. A little scary. Wait, let's turn the audio down 1 second. Sorry for the anticlimactic moment. There we go. Okay, GG.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That is time, by the way.
Okay, time. All right. Good to know. Well, that was like
Just forgot
a
it.
super sick run. I think, did you only
Yeah.
get hit once throughout that run? Other than the setup for caution?
Yeah, other than the setup for caution, I only took 1 hit of damage there. I got pretty unlucky in the lab liquor section, and like I said, it's a really rough one, so it's not a surprise.
Well, that was
I'm gonna let.
super impressive for it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm gonna let this cutscene play out because it's a lovely cutscene. We get to hang out with Sherry and Leon and Claire.
Sure. I actually
I'll,
I don't know if I've ever done this scenario. Like, I don't think I've seen this boss fight before. I'm like, what is this? Like, you don't do this boss fight otherwise, right?
Yeah, this is not an
Yeah,
A scenario.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
just an
That's why I was wondering, like, what other bosses is there?
All right. I guess I'll do some shout-outs now
Yeah,
while we're just cooling off. Thank you so much to GDQ and Regal. Thank you for the opportunity to do this. This was super cool. I was really nervous, but got through it pretty well. Just one little hiccup there. Thank you so much, Mondo, for joining me for commentary again for our second time on GDQ Hotfix.
Look, he might be able to give us a ride.
This game is a lot of fun. I would highly recommend speedrunning it. It's very beginner friendly. It's easy to jump into and learn and get a grip on. I have a tutorial that I made for Leon A standard 120 FPS. So yeah, if you're interested in this game, please do check out the speedrun.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
If
Yeah,
I was
thank you
going
so
to
much.
learn this run, I would look at your tutorial. Like, it looks like you know what you're doing for it.
Yeah, it's been a good 4,000 hours of this game.
Dang.
So I have a good amount of knowledge.
Dang. Yeah, that's hefty.
We'll stop it. Whatever it takes.
And the biggest shout out, thank you so much to Catastrophic, spelled with a K. She is the Resident Evil 3 remake world record holder. She customized my skin here that I use today.
You guys can adopt me.
She is lovely.
We can get a puppy.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the run.
I always
And yeah, and enjoy Captain Ezekiel's run, because I know I will. Very much looking forward to watching that now.
Yeah, so speaking of that, that was an amazing run, Frit. Thank you so much for showing that off. But as Frit said, stick around because we have another really cool, like high difficulty run of another Resident Evil game coming up next by another really fantastic runner, Captain Ezekiel. Captain Ezekiel is going to be running Resident Evil 7 on Madhouse difficulty. So I'm really excited to see that as well. But yeah, that was Resident Evil 2 Remake on Hardcore. Thank you so much, Frit, and thank you, Mondo. But we're going to go to a break and we'll set up the next run. So yeah, stick around. We'll be right back, y'all.